When we write Apache Spark code, then we do want to test our code just like any other code that we write. However, sometimes Apache Spark code is written just in plain notebooks. And correct me if I'm wrong, I'll ask you, did you see tests or unit tests in Jupyter notebooks? I have a guess. So, in general, the reason that we do not see that many tests in that area is that first it's harder because we need to take some big amount of data if we want to exactly reproduce production. Take the huge amounts of data, do you have the terabytes, petabytes, you won't load them in the unit test. Or take some notebook that someone wrote, you don't know where is it exactly, and let him add the unit test there. So this is not going right, this is not going in the right direction. So what we do want to do for sure is to have the core logic of the Apache Spark code that we have their own unit test or a component test. So now we are going just to focus on how to write a specific unit test to a specific Apache Spark function. Basically what we want to do is we want to create a data frame. And for that we call spark.createDataFrame, and then we pass two arguments, the input data from the memory and the schema. For the input data, we just, in Python, create an array, and each array is a tuple of the row columns. And for example, our input data could be first start an array with square brackets, and then tuple. The tuple would be 1, comma, United States, comma, Florida, comma, mastic, comma, etc. And so on. So, and then we also, this is the first parameter to the create data frame. The second parameter to the create data frame is the schema. In the schema, we have a struct type. So we create a struct type, and in the struct type, we get a struct field that describes its column. And each struct field that describes the column has the column name, the type of the column name, integer type, string type, and whether it's nullable or not. Also, we want to set up the unit test. So basically what we want to do is that in the beginning of the class, we create a Spark session, a semi-Spark session, a local one, a Spark session.builder.master, local star, and give it the app name. The app name could be just our unit test, and then .get or create. In the teardown, we have the setup and the teardown. In the teardown, we call spark.stop. In this way, we have a unit test class that in the beginning, it's starting the Spark session with Spark session.builder.master.appname.get or create, and in the teardown, it's stopping the Spark session. Now, of course, and in the middle, we have all the test methods. Now, of course, that when we run all these test methods that are actually calling Spark, then it's going to take more time. It's not going to be a millisecond test, but this is basically what we need to work with. This is what we have. We don't have something better than this, at least if we want to actually test the Spark code. For another topic with Apache Spark, how do we add calculated columns to a dataset? So the method is with column. So we call dataset.withColumn, give it two arguments, the column name and then the column value. If you just want some arbitrary value like a bird, the string bird, then you give lit, which is literal, just call the function literal in the second argument and give it the bird value. So basically here when we said dataset.withColumn, call name, lit, const value, then we added a column with the name column name, and we added a value because we said lit. Lit means literal, just take this string, don't evaluate it, just take it as is. And note that when we code dataset.withColumn, then it won't change the current dataset. It will return a new dataset that has this new column. So we always need to do dataset or some new variable is the dataset.withColumn. Okay, it won't mutate the current dataset, it will return a new object reference that will reference dataset with this new column that we need to use. If we want to take the value of another column into our column, then we still use dataset.withColumn, and in brackets we again give it two arguments. The first one is the new column name, just a string of the new column name, and the second one is that we need to call the function call, C-O-L, call and the name of the other column. This would give the value of the other column. If we want the literal value, we will wrap it with lit. So dataset dot with column, new column name, lit call some other column name. This would take the other column values and put it in the new column that we defined. Let's say that we want to take the other column and do some basic manipulation, like is the other column is 5? If yes, put true in our column. So this would be dataset.withColumn arguments. New column name. The second argument is column, call, COL, other column, dot equal to 5. So basically, because in the second argument, which is the value of the column, we wrote lit, call, other call, dot equal to 5, then our new column name would receive true or false based on whether the other column is equal to 5 or not. So this was basic concepts on how to do unit testing in Apache Spark and how to add new calculated columns in Apache Spark with datasets.